I'm adding a few new things to the house today. They are some vintage and antique pieces that I was able to purchase from Simply Country Home. I was so pleasantly surprised when I opened the package with this demijohn. It is huge and just so beautiful. I think it is going to be just the perfect thing to go up here on the top of my TV cabinet, an area that I know if you've seen my videos before, I have mentioned that this area has been just a little bit difficult for me to figure out how I want to decorate it and what would work well up here. So I think this demijohn is going to look great here. I love the early American colonial style. Of course, as with any style, the look can vary from person to person as each adds their own personal touches and interpretations. I think of the early Americans that settled and built their homes with modest means. They were still influenced by the European countries where they had come from, but had to adapt to a more simplified look that reflected their practical, simple way of life in America. Early homes had whitewashed walls or muted earthy colors on the walls or trim, and not decorated much, if at all. Not anything like we're used to today, anyway. If there was anything on the walls, it was usually something practical and useful, such as peg rails for coats or hats, shelves to hold pottery, dishes, or books. The simplicity may have given the early homes a sparse appearance, but being that most of the rooms in early homes were small, keeping them uncluttered was probably a must. Now, you may be thinking, white, sparse, minimal? This isn't really sounding too cozy, but there are plenty of ways to give this style the cozy feeling of home that everyone longs for. Texture is a great way to add some cozy to a space. Demijohn bottles wrapped in wicker are great decorative pieces for this purpose. The weave is so pretty and the warm color of the wrap adds so much to a space. Books are also great textural pieces, especially old books with worn leather or canvas covers. They are usually in warm colors of earthy browns, reds, and deep blues. Even pottery and metal pieces such as candlesticks mixed in adds to the texture. I love the texture and patina of old knives and display them on the wall above my stove, keeping with the utilitarian aesthetic of the early period homes. Cutting boards, salt boxes, wooden spoons, and firkins are some of the other great items to display for the look. I swapped out the small brownware pitcher that I had on top of the TV cabinet with the large brownware crock that I had on top of this hutch. I think the pitcher would look best on this shelf with the bowl, so I'm going to move this other little crock up to the top of the hutch. I'm going to put a book under it and see if I can lift it up just a little bit so it can be seen better. I'm still not quite satisfied with this space, so I went and got my courting candle holder and I'm trying that up there, and I believe this is how I'm going to leave it for now. I like how the metal candle holder adds just a little bit more and goes along with the metal on the mantle. The second vintage online purchase is this beautiful, sweet little basket. I just love it. I am going to place it on my cupboard shelf since the bowl that I had there is now being used on my dining table. Baskets were a necessity in early times, so they are a good choice for a collection. I like to display them on shelves and cabinets and even hang them from the beams in my kitchen. They give a nod to the practical early ways of life while also adding beauty, like the demijohn wrap. The texture and varying warm colors of the baskets softens the look without being really noticeable of the fact. 2 boxes down and 1 to go. Can you guess what is in this one? Talk about patina. Oh my goodness, I just love this old cutting board. Should it go here by my stove or here on the island? I think the island it is for now. I love how it looks layered with this other wooden board and the wooden mortar and pestle. And nothing says early American like a Windsor chair. After much procrastination, I have finally bought some counter stools to go around our island, and I could not be more pleased. These chairs look like larger versions of my dining chairs. I am just loving them. I went up to the shop to help Chris cut some boards to do a little project in our little house. Chris happened to see these buckboards at a local lumber yard and knew that I had been wanting to create a faux fireplace here in the little house, and so he bought some and brought home. After moving this large cabinet into the bedroom area, now we are going to get to work creating an early American style primitive faux fireplace. I think this is going to be the perfect added touch to take our little house from farmhouse to early American style farmhouse. The warm color and the texture of this wood is just so good. I am so excited to see what this is gonna add to this space. We are not following any type of plan to build this fireplace. I just dreamed it up in my head and said, I think I want it this size. And so we took those measurements and decided how we were going to put it together and cut out all the pieces, and we are just going to put it directly onto this wall and see how it turns out. The boards are all 12 inches wide, and we cut the two side boards to be 50 inches long, and then we cut a 2-foot piece to go in between at the top, so that's going to make the fireplace 4 feet wide. We cut our shelf piece to be just a little bit wider. There should be 2 inches stick out over each side of the fireplace for the mantel shelf. Chris is just drilling some holes so it will be easier to put the screws in. Now before he screws it down, I'm just going to check the measurements and make sure there's the same amount sticking out on each side, and it is 2 inches on each side, so we're good. Now that the basic frame of the fireplace is up on the wall, we're going to add another piece of wood across the front to dress it up a little bit and give a little more support to the mantel shelf. And lastly, we're going to add some shelf brackets cut from the boards. Not quite done, but I had to put something on the mantle to see what it looked like, and I'm just so happy with it. It looks so good. I also had to add a screensaver to the TV and just see how everything was going to look, and it's coming together so well. I'm so excited. Before, our TV was just sitting on top of this cabinet, and so was the satellite box, and so we had to come up with a different way of having our TV on the wall. So we put it up with a bracket, and we also ordered a bracket that holds the satellite box out of view, and I cannot be more excited about that. It's the simple things in life, right? Now, to finish up this project, I am going to paint the wall on the inside part of the fireplace black. Since we are less than 2 weeks away from Christmas, I'm gonna go ahead and add some little Christmas trees here on this table and to the mantle. Of course, I had to change the TV screensaver as well and put up a snowy Christmas scene. I'm so pleased with our fireplace project. It has really added a touch of warmth and a look of primitive that I have really been trying to incorporate into the little house. I would like for it to feel like an early American cabin that was built before we added on the main house, much like how they built homes in the early days. And I have to say, I am loving these screensavers. This one and this one, they are my favorites that I've found. But I think I will stick with the snowy scene until after Christmas. I hope you were able to find some inspiration in my video today, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I truly appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna leave you with some before and afters. If you would like to see more of our home all decorated for Christmas, click the video on your screen for a Christmas home tour.